Now at 10, less than 2 weeks into the school year, and tragedy strikes a Colorado school.
I've never really thought it would happen at our school.
You send your kids to school and you expect them to be safe.
A student opens fire at Evergreen High School. I'm Denver 7's Colette Bordelon. The sheriff's office says the gunman is dead. 2 of his classmates hospitalized. Tonight, the latest into what we know unfolded in this mountain town.
We ran, and then when we were running up the dirt hill, there was another shot behind us, and that would really made people scream.
Plus, students scramble for cover. I'm Denver 7's Adria Arahita. Hear from students who ran for their lives amid a flurry of gunshots.
It's devastating to see these teachers. Their broken hearts. They're doing the best they can.
I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski. Tonight, Denver 7 investigates with exclusive video. Law enforcement executing a search warrant at a remote gated community. Investigators trying to answer that question why. We'll dive into the investigation.
Denver 7 News at 10 starts now.
A heartbreaking day in Colorado today after gunshots ring out at a school in Evergreen. We know 3 students were sent to the hospital, including the suspected gunman. We now know the suspected shooter is dead and that one of the 2 victims has now been transferred out of the hospital and into another facility. Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Ryan Fish. Denver 7 has been on scene working all afternoon to get answers about what happened at Evergreen High School. And tonight, Denver 7 Investigates has exclusive video of law enforcement conducting a search of the suspected shooter's home. This is in a remote gated community about 6 miles from Evergreen High School. Denver 7's Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski is breaking that story for us tonight. Before we get to that, Denver 7's Adria Arahita is live outside of St. Anthony's Hospital in Lakewood with the latest on the 2 victims. And we begin with Denver 7's Colette Bordelon with the latest on the investigation. Colette.
Throughout the course of the day, we've been getting answers about what investigators know so far about this shooting. They're going to be interviewing any student, faculty, staff who saw or heard what happened. And naturally, that's going to take some time because there were so many witnesses to this shooting. They're also going to be looking closely at the suspect's car, locker, home, anything that can give them insight into why this happened.
Buses filled with students and staff.
There were a lot of kids inside the school who saw it.
Drove down the hill from Evergreen High School one after another to be reunited with the people they love.
We got to fix this. It's our turn. We got to fix it.
The first call came just before 12:30, reporting a school shooting, shocking this mountain community.
The nation is tired of statements filled with platitudes of thoughts and prayers.
3 teenagers were shot and taken to the hospital. One of them was the suspected shooter, who investigators say shot himself and died from his injuries.
The weapon used today was a handgun. We did determine that we have multiple scenes at the school. We have some scenes inside the school where some shootings occurred, and then outside the school as well.
Those with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office are leading the investigation and say there was no school resource officer on campus at the time of the shooting.
Jeffco was on scene within 2 minutes, and we were in contact with the shooter within 5.
With several crime scenes, the witnesses, students, and staff will be critical in this investigation.
Those interviews are going to help us figure out where it started and where it went next and where it ended up.
No child should ever face this kind of danger, and no community should be asked to absorb this kind of pain.
The superintendent for Jeffco Public Schools speaking directly to her community.
Violence involving our young people should never be normalized, and we must face the difficult truth that too often it is.
A community where everyone is holding one another a bit tighter tonight.
I'm incredibly blessed that I get to hug Brenner tonight and put him to bed and see him wake up tomorrow. Not every parent is that lucky.
There's been so many law enforcement agencies out here all day today, ranging from the FBI to so many local agencies. It would be too many to list in one breath. Parents of both the victims and the suspects have been identified at this point in time and will, of course, be following this investigation very closely. We're live in Evergreen. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
And thank you for that, Colette. And let's go back out now to Denver 7's Adria Arahita at St. Anthony's Hospital. And Adria, you just learned some new information about one of the 2 victims there.
Yeah, Ryan, that victim who had non-life-threatening injuries was moved out of this hospital behind me into a different facility. The other victim remains in critical condition tonight. And while it's hard to imagine exactly what unfolded after those first gunshots rang out at Evergreen High School, we're now hearing a little bit more about what happened right after the fact from two students, and also through some video that's heartbreaking to watch. This Ring video shows the terror and chaos that followed right after shots were fired at Evergreen High School during lunchtime. Some of those kids trying to find a safe place to hide, but the homeowners weren't there to let them in.
And while we were running, we just heard two shots. It was boom, boom, at least like 50 feet away from us.
Sophomore Charlie Hutchin tells me he and his friend Jax were in the cafeteria when they heard the gunshots. They tell me at least 100 students ran outside in fear of their lives, heading to nearby homes for safety.
I banged on this guy's house. Like, I started banging it, I started kicking it, and he opened the door. I told him what happened, and then Charlie and a bunch of other people came in.
I just saw like kids dropping their backpacks and everything, kids puking.
His mom, Victoria, collected some of those items for safekeeping. Water bottles, books, and backpacks left forgotten in midst of chaos.
I'm heartbroken for these kids and the staff. We have so many friends who teach and work there too, that they need so much support.
As they work to process what happened today, these students say unity will help in that healing process as they move forward.
Yeah, I think it really will bring everyone together. Like, everybody kind of knows, like we were all like in danger, and just people who weren't nice to people, who weren't always friends, will kind of all come together,
And Ryan, we're learning some new information about a resource and information center that will take place at Bergen Meadow Elementary School tomorrow and Friday. Those both start at 9 a.m. That's open to students, faculty, family, and anyone else in the community that was shaken up by this. They'll be able to talk to victim advocates, mental health professionals. They'll also have information on picking up any vehicles or personal items that were left at the school. They're also asking if you witnessed any part of this incident and have not yet spoken to investigators. They'll have people on hand to be able to talk to for that as well. For now, reporting live in Lakewood, Adria Erhita, Denver 7.
The fear there today, very real, and now as this community tries to move forward. Thank you for that, Adria. Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski joins us now live outside the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office in Golden. Still so many questions about what happened today, Tony, but investigators are working to find out those answers. And Tony, you were there outside the suspected gunman's home as law enforcement was searching it.
Yes, Ryan. We learned early in the afternoon that law enforcement was working diligently to try to get a judge to allow them to get inside that shooter's house where they believed they would find many answers. Well, they got that pretty quickly, and we were outside the home in the neighborhood when law enforcement moved in this evening. This is how it looked on the ground. Exclusive video shortly after 6 p.m. And this is how it looked from up above. Denver 7's drone capturing nearly a dozen law enforcement vehicles driving into this remote gated neighborhood about 6.5 miles from Evergreen High School. It was less than 6 hours after the shooting, and you can see law enforcement vehicles through the trees parked in the driveway. Also from outside, you can see cameras flashing as investigators are armed with a search warrant and combing through the shooter's house. We first saw those vehicles coming into this remote community about 15-20 minutes from Evergreen High School shortly after 6. We've been here now, it's almost sunset, more than 10 vehicles, multiple agencies. They're all at the home behind me. It's the home with the fireplace and the maroon siding. We have witnessed cameras taking pictures from this distance, clearly executing a search warrant. The purpose, trying to answer that question, why? Why did it happen? If you're in the process of getting a search warrant, are you allowed to go in that home without the parents there? Will you enter the home without them being there, or will you wait for them to return? Less than an hour earlier, Jeffco sheriffs addressed our questions about the search warrant, confirming they were preparing to move in.
I don't know what the warrant says. I don't know what's in the affidavit, but we are going to do the work that needs to be done. Certainly, I'm sure we'd like to work with the family, but we'll do the job we have to do.
Inside the home, investigators were clearly digging for details, trying to learn more about the shooter and his motive, also trying to see if there are any leads connecting the shooter to any accomplice.
Obviously, we're going to focus on that suspect's home, his car, his locker, all the things that we need to do to find out more about him and maybe why this happened.
So important to stress here, no indication there were any other accomplices. The Sheriff's Department in all their news briefings today saying they did not know, but it is standard operating procedure when you get access to a shooter's home. You are looking for everything, looking through everything, computers, any other cell phones to see if there are any other weapons or explosive. That's all they were looking for, a search that was likely to take several hours tonight. Reporting live outside the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, I'm Tony Kowaleski. Ryan?
Tony, while you were out there, any indication tonight if they uncovered anything significant inside of that house?
Well, we asked those questions to our sources, and right now, no indication of what they found inside that home. We are told there will be an update tomorrow morning from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Sometimes they will provide that information. Sometimes that information will wait days until there is information out in other media, other reports from the Sheriff's Office. So we should know more, I would guess, in the next 48 hours. Ryan?
Tony, appreciate your work on this tonight. Great job out there. Everyone processes tragedies like this a bit differently and on different timelines. So tonight I talked with Advent Health Crisis Assessment Specialist Timothy Kelly. He says our bodies actually respond to trauma in a similar way: racing heart rate, shallow breathing, and anxiety that something bad will happen because something bad did happen. He says that's a healthy response and that feeling will eventually fade. But if it doesn't, it's always okay to speak with a therapist or even see a doctor or go to the emergency room to hear from a crisis counselor. He also offered some advice for those of us who want to help loved ones who might be struggling right now.
A lot of times our supports are like, yeah, I'm willing to help with whatever you want. But sometimes people don't know how to ask for help. Right, so being able to say, hey, I can help you in these types of ways, that's something you would want, and being a bit more specific is usually a more helpful way to approach that.
The state of Colorado has several mental health resources available. Anyone could call the Colorado Mental Health Line at 988. It's free and available 24/7. The state also offers up to 6 free online or in-person therapy sessions for anyone 18 years old or younger. You can sign up for those on the website imattercolorado.org. We will continue to follow the shooting at Evergreen High School, and you can always find the latest updates right here on air and on our website, denver7.com. Stay with us. We'll have much more coverage coming up in just a couple minutes.